Your Excellencies, Mr. Secretary General, Chairman, officers of the NRI Institute members and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this dinner. It's an honour to do so. For those of you who had the chore of sitting through another of my speeches about an hour and a half ago, I do apologise. It's not the same one this time, which may be a good thing or maybe not. The NRI Institute has a name which, as I have said previously, is one we find particularly worthy, namely to honour such NRIs, people of Indian origin, who achieve success and brilliance in different walks of life. There is no shortage of such individuals in the United Kingdom, and I'm sure that Ambassador Steiner can say the same thing about Germany. The Indian community in the UK comprises about 2.3% of the population, but makes a disproportionate contribution to the economic well-being of the country. The reason that Indians in the UK are extremely entrepreneurial, demonstrate the virtues of hard work, have considerable management skill, and in many cases have shown commitment in developing businesses from very humble beginnings to multi-million-pound multinational enterprises. I'm very proud to represent a country which has enabled the Indian community to prosper for their benefit and the benefit of all of us. That community is the most successful ethnic group in the UK, occupying top positions in society, from business to politics, from the arts and culture to the media. And I was delighted to read that one of the most distinguished members of our Indian community in the UK, Lord Raj Lumba, has just been awarded the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman by the Indian government in Gujarat a couple of days ago. He was born in the Punjab, educated in the USA, moved to the UK in '62 with his family, started with a market stall, built it up from scratch to a multinational company with 200 retail outlets in the UK, but has also been honoured for his work on charities, notably the Lumba Foundation, which works to raise the awareness of the issue of widowhood and to raise funds to educate the children of poor widows in India. He was awarded the command of the British Empire by the British government in 2008, but it's wonderful that the government of India has now recognised him to the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman. You held your business conference earlier today. The UK government shares your aim to promote investments in India and Indian investments in the UK. We remain the largest major investor into India, and the UK is the preferred destination within Europe of Indian FDI. I'm speaking tonight because my High Commissioner isn't here. I mentioned to some of you earlier on, he's not in Delhi, he's in Gujarat, where the UK is a partner country for vibrant Gujarat. And we have sent the largest trade delegation to that event with over 100 business people from 60 companies, led by one of our ministers. And our presence in Gujarat is a step forward from what Prime Minister Singh and Prime Minister Cameron agreed in 2010, namely to double British trade with India by 2015. I mentioned Gujarat because so many members of the British diaspora are actually from there. And it's also a good example of what we're trying to do in India, which is essentially to increase our diplomatic presence. Since 2011, a year after the British general election, we have expanded our diplomatic presence in India. So this is now the largest British diplomatic presence globally, including the United States, with over 900 people, and that doesn't include the 550 people who work for the British Council, in 10 locations across this great country. 6 weeks after the election, Mr. Modi agreed that we could open a new office in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, and we hope very much to be able to do that this year. That will follow on from offices we recently opened in Chandigarh and in Hyderabad. The aim of that, in fact, after the election of May last year, we had 7 British cabinet ministers in 2 months. The last one of those didn't come in that period, but came in October. That was our defence minister. And he came to commemorate the sacrifice made by Indian soldiers during World War I. As many of you will know, over 1.2 million Indians served in World War I. Many of them paid the ultimate sacrifice, over 72,000. And a number of Victoria Crosses were won. We should never forget what India did in World War I. Whichever government takes office after our own elections in May, the level of commitment will remain the same. And that shouldn't be one way. We have invited Prime Minister Modi to come to the UK. We very much hope that he will do so, and we are discussing dates with our colleagues from India. And another big element of our relationship, which will bear fruit in London this year, is the Gandhi statue, which should be unveiled in the next few months. I'm sure that some of you will be aware of this project, including through financial contributions to the trust fund, which is being run by Lord Desai. And the sculpture will show Gandhi, who, of course, as Prime Minister Modi mentioned, someone said already, in the Madison Garden speech, that Gandhi was throughout much of his life a non-resident Indian. The sculptor will show him wearing a shawl and traditional dhoti with hands clasped. That's been inspired by photographs taken of Gandhi in 1931 during his visit to London. And that statue will portray him as a thoughtful, determined, compassionate man. And it will be set in the corner of Parliament Square, next to an existing statue of Nelson Mandela. 2015 is the right year to do that, because we recognise it's the 100th anniversary of the return of Gandhi from South Africa to India. We very much look forward to seeing Gandhi in London again, 127 years after he first arrived there. So thank you for inviting me here this evening. I wish you all the best of success for 2015, and congratulations to the award winners. Thank you very much.